What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Take a look at what's on the screen. As you may or may not know, trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of your money. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice or a recommendation or suggestion to do anything at all. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Let's hop onto the charts on this fine Friday, May 30th. Let's go ahead and get this shared. We are here on the Project X platform. I've got 350K straight to funded accounts with top one futures loaded up, ready to roll. Seeing what we can find after some wild news this morning. Comments, continual comments out of the U.S. administration, as well as some news that we had at 8:30. But right now, chopping back up around VWAP. We'll take a look at the daily in just a second. What is going on? What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good evening to you on the other side of the world. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always. You know the drill. Smash like, smash subscribe. We'll see if we can't have some fun on this Friday. Let's get some music loaded up, man. It's a little bit quiet in my office here. I need some beats loaded up here. This is just a little bit too silent for me. That's important. Some background noise, right? As we watch the market start to come back down below VWAP, get some analysis in with you. See if we can't find some nice trade setups. Order flow looking interesting this morning. Got a couple larger levels marked on my candlestick chart. The 850 and the 940. Boom. If I zoom out, you'll see right here, we've got almost 500 on the book up here at the 5940 level. And then the next larger stack, 131, would be down here around these 5850s. We start to break towards either one of those. I think they're going to act like a pretty interesting level target. But let's take a look at... why am I not getting any sound? Nice. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, what's going on, guys? We're looking good. We're looking good. Nice. Bookmap up on the side. Let's take a look and see what this chart is looking like on the daily. If you guys know, it is, market's open, 9:34. I really don't like to get involved in the first 15 minutes. I do my best to keep myself out, let the gamblers and algos and, consider myself a psychopath the way that I've been entering aggressively counter and it paying me nicely. I was joking about that with Randy yesterday. But I'll let the psychopaths jump in the first 20 seconds of the open. So we know what's happened over the last few weeks, right? Big, nice bullish run off of these gnarly lows. Interesting price action here from last week and this week. This is really interesting, right? Yesterday, so coming out of Wednesday's close, the overnight session, Wednesday into Thursday, we had a big push up. We wicked above these highs over here, came back down, and we kind of formed this little indecision, really long wick to the upside candle, right? This shooting star, doji, whatever the 47 slang terms we want to call it. It looked like we might pull back and then continue to run, right, until we closed this way and now opened up this way. We still can. But this price action is making a little bit more of a case for a continuation to pull back on this, right? If we sold off from here super aggressively, like all the way back down to, some way lower pricing, that would make sense with this type of price action, right? Can we just turn and burn to the upside? Sure, for sure. But this is interesting, right? Not as clear now to say, okay, we're just continuing to break and retest long wicks to the downside. We're taking off to the upside. We kind of got one of these going, which again, we might get this the next day, right? So here's, your long wick to the upside candle, kind of like we're looking at here, and then big bullish push. So again, I like to start on the daily. I pay attention to the daily. I look at it every day. It's the high time frame chart that I kind of take a glance at. Does it really influence my decisions on the 1 minute? Not so much, but I like to take a look at what's going on from a higher time frame perspective before I jump down to the low time frame. So I could, again, as always, unbiased, could see it going either way. We start to turn and flip bullish, get above this overnight high towards these 940s. I could be looking for some extension to the upside. I've got a couple zones on my chart today. It was getting way too, just overlapping too much with volume profile levels. So I really cleaned it up today. I took most of the stuff. I actually hit it. It's still on here, but I just took it off so I can't see it. Dropping down to the 1 minute. Dropping down to the 1 minute. Let's see. Yeah, so here was that kind of silly move from overnight, Wednesday into Thursday, yesterday. Pretty choppy session, right? Down on the session. Where was 9:30? Here's 9:30. We opened up, really continued to sell off, and then came back up and kind of chopped around up here. Very choppy in the overnight session, right? Really sitting right at VWAP, not finding any direction to the upside or downside all the way through Asia and London. Pre-market, we had this comments out of Trump, I think, something like that. We could look it up if you guys want to know exactly what it was. 8:30 news, we got past, we popped to the upside back to VWAP, and now here we are, just sitting. So far, pretty tight range, right, for this candle. Here's our overnight high, overnight low. We are within yesterday's candle range, right? Here's our prior day low, prior day high. So nothing really giving any crazy strong direction out of this. It is a mild news Friday. We got past, we got past the 8:30 a.m. news. We have 10 a.m. revised consumer sentiment. That's coming up here in about 20 minutes. Nothing really crazy out of that. Like I'm not so worried. I would trade right through that. Let's see what the comments at 8 o'clock this morning were. Yeah, Trump perhaps, China perhaps not surprisingly to some has totally violated its agreement with the U.S. on tariffs. China violated its agreement. So that's what this was. If you care about fundamentals, that was that initial knee-jerk reaction. Essentially, Trump stating that China violated its agreement a couple times. He made a couple comments on it. After that, we got our information on 8:30 news, and so far, not too much outside of that. What's up, Luna? What's going on, man? In here with 2 accounts. What's going on? Emmanuel, Nobles, Chuck, Apps, AV, Phoenix Trading, AD. What is up, guys? CatCam Pro, what's happening? Jordan, how are you guys doing this morning? Good to see you, man. Happy Friday. Double like for you. So there we go. Luna smashing the like button, multiple accounts. I don't know if anybody could top that, man. Good morning, Neo. What's happening, guys? Great to be on here for another Friday. We've had a fun week. Had some guests on over the last couple weeks. Luna was one of them in the chat. If you want to click on his profile, he trades live almost every damn day as well. Crypto trader, along with futures prop firms like myself. So yeah, just kind of going to watch this market open up. I'm really not looking to dive into anything too crazy. Again, looking at Bookmap. I'm looking at the 940s that have let me just zoom in up here and just kind of really take a look at where this is. Yeah, 920s, we got 100 on the book right up here near overnight high. And then we got 447 on the book. 447 lots on the book, dead set at 940, 59.40. So that's a significant amount of liquidity. Sell side up above price. Looking to the downside, we got about 100 on the book down near 890, right down here below price, right? And then lower than that, we got a couple stacks. We got 880s have 100, 75, 70s look decently thick, and then a nice stack that's standing out down here at the 850. So I have a couple big liquidity levels marked with some horizontal rays here. But gonna wait for my trade setups to come. Put my trades on without reservation or hesitation, to quote Mark Douglas. I got a pretty mechanical, clean way to manage these trades. I'm really looking to do better, sticking to that. You watched me do it yesterday. You watched me do it this week. It's played out pretty nicely. When I come away from that, it tends to not work so nicely. But outside of that, just had to kind of clean up my chart. I marked my levels this morning, my prior day volume, fixed range volume profile, and my prior week volume profile, and it was just overlapping. It's all right here. Like obviously you can kind of get a feel, right? Like here's the whole session. So all of the value area high, value area low, point of control, and then we had prior week stuff down here, just way overlapping, right? Just too many levels. And looking at that, I'm like, I'm not going to trade off of any of them because they're just so damn overlapping. It's nice to know where they are, but it starts to cloud what I can actually see on my chart. Price action, market structure, simple volume tools. So I'm not running them today. I might not run them, or I might kind of just look at them, glance at them as I mark my chart up. Still have my core stuff on here, prior day high and low, overnight high and low. And in place of that, what I've been liking is some discretionary zones. A couple levels above price, below price, discretionary areas that I might find interesting if we start to break above, if we start to break below. These are typically going to line up with, value area, high, low, point of control levels from prior days, from, prior weeks. But along with that, just simple volume profile and market structure, right? You can see how these line up here, obvious levels that we might find interesting if we come and approach that. So not a big change, but I talk about any small differences you're going to see day to day on my chart. Again, still love volume profile, love fixed range volume profile. Today specifically, I said it a couple times this week, but it was like it's all overlapping. It's 47 levels across my chart. I'm like, well, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of blocking price. So let's see where we go here today. Yeah, it looks like we could want to run. And find some buyers here. 890 is the next spot on the chart. Really right down here would be a dip below this area of consolidation where we could potentially find some buyers. I don't know if I would want to try it so aggressively today. Back up to VWAP. We got 100 on the book right down here. I could see that for an aggressive long play, but breaking to the downside. Yeah, I'm going to hang out. I'm not going to try anything too quick off this open. We start to sell off. Again, you guys, if you've been watching how I've been trading this 1 minute chart on ES, pretty much same thing day in and day out. It's pretty much reversion trades, right? Counter trend or counter to the initial movement on the low time frame, reversion back to areas of high volume, reactions off of key levels and order flow, liquidity. So I'm going to look to play that the same. To the downside, I wouldn't want to take it here above prior day low and overnight low. I think these levels could potentially be messed with today. So I'm going to wait to see what happens as we start selling off. Interested around the 90s, but it's just a little bit too high up here, right? I wouldn't want a stop loss right here. I don't think that's a great place to put it. So going to hang tight as we start to sell off. Nice positive cumulative volume delta. Started talking about that yesterday. But interested to see what we get. Again, we do have 10 a.m. orange folder news, something to be aware of, but we are into that first 15 minutes of the open. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wait for the 15-minute candle to close for orb. Yeah, if you are trading the opening range breakout, which has become more and more popular these days, 15-minute opening range breakout, send it. Do your thing. Not exactly what I pay attention to or trade myself. If I don't have as I'm thinking through, if I don't have as many volume profile levels on my chart overlapping everything, I might be able to mark initial balance. I've been holding off on that the first 1 hour, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I've been holding off on that just because I have too many levels, too many lines on my chart, too confusing. But that's one that I like to pay attention to. The first 15 minutes, I kind of just like to let the market open up. But as far as the range itself, I don't hold a ton of weight on the 15-minute. But it can work very well. Very, very simple. Opening range breakout strategy, break and retest, failures to break outside, simple stuff like that. But let's see what we got here today, guys. Appreciate you hopping on as always. Welcome to the show. If you're new, my name's Zach. I trade live here almost every damn day. A little bit about me as a trader. Who I am, who I'm not. I don't claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't have any magic strategy to sell you or to talk about here, right? Just the basic, simple stuff that seems to work well for me. But no massive P&Ls, no huge leaderboard, live account, insane, P&Ls and stuff like that. I'm happy to say I've taken top step payouts every month this year. Just requested, talked about that on I'm watching a lot of buyers step in here. I'm sorry. A lot of buyers step in here right around these lows. This is interesting on Bookmap. But yeah, talked about that a little bit on X this morning, IG in Discord. Interesting phenomenon playing out mindset-wise. The less you focus on or place any expectations on accounts, the better you seem to do. But where I was going with that is I'm more than happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, break-evens, everything in between. Happy to show you what that looks like. A lot of buyers sitting now at the 97.5. A lot of buyers sitting at the 97.5. I got distracted in the middle of that. This is interesting. I could show you guys Bookmap. Show you guys Bookmap here. There we go. We got Bookmap up. This is Bookmap. Link below if you want to check Bookmap out. Important to tell you that I am partnered affiliated with Bookmap. Can't stand to be unbiased if I stand to make money. But Bookmap is my favorite order flow tool. You see a lot of futures traders, most of them using some form of a depth of market order flow chart. Bookmap is my preferred weapon of choice, although I'm continuing to look and test at different platforms to do this with, because I do find it really valuable. But here's what I'm looking at. A lot of buy orders came on the book below price as we started to drop here and push back up. This could start to drive price higher. Ooh, as we come right down into it here, 949. Volume filling, orders filling. Yeah, and then here we go. A lot of sell side. This is interesting. We could get pretty volatile here, guys. Watching this at the 890s is what I was talking about earlier, right? Orders on the book down here at the 890s, about 100. If I scroll out, here's what I had pointed out above price, the 940s. Big stack of orders, most prominent level on the book, above price. Very interesting. Big stack of orders, sell side up there. Pretty far way away, so a lot would happen before I really start to take that into consideration. And then down below price, it's kind of lightened up now just based on everything else that's come on the book. But the 850s, 132 on the book. And that's really what we're looking at here, right? Price levels for ES. And then quantity of orders resting, liquidity, also known as liquidity, above and below price. Real liquidity, though, not the random, I think it's here, I think it's there. Just live liquidity. Higher quantity of orders at specific price levels relative to everything else on the book. That's how I would define that. So let's see what happens as we start to come down into these 90s. Again, this looks pretty weak now. Looked like for a second buyers were going to try to prop this up and we might start to continue the upside. Came through these orders, but this is a level that we got a lot of people getting involved in. Right around the temporary volume point of control on the candlestick chart. So this is interesting at the 90s. Again, I'm not jumping in long. I could see this for, on another day, maybe a potential play, but we're just too close to overnight low and prior day low down here for me to really want to get involved up here. But I could see support potentially being found off these 90s. And then a crack to the upside. Conversely, we crack through this like we just did here really aggressively. We can start to drop very, very quickly. So here we go. Let's see. Orders filling. This is what I like about Bookmap. You can watch, right? You can see a lot of volume traded. You can see a lot of volume traded on the candlestick chart if you look at traditional volume. You could utilize this, right? Different stuff than what we're looking at on a candlestick chart. This is different information. It's not just price, time, and volume. It's live liquidity and then a historical version of what played out, which might be helpful to you, might not. Do you have to use Bookmap? No, I don't think so. Plenty of traders don't use it, right? And they make plenty of money trading without it. I find it helpful. I think you have to decide for yourself how much information you could process, how many tools you could really use before it becomes information overload. But if you want to check out Bookmap, link is down below. I'll actually throw the link in the description. In the chat as well for you guys. You can get a discount on Bookmap if you like. Boom. There is Bookmap. I find it very helpful. Very helpful. So through the 90s, aggressively continuing to sell off. Again, just too close to these key levels for me to want to get involved up here. I'm interested to see now what happens as we come through overnight low. I could see an aggressive long off of this level, maybe like the 75s. If we continue through the 75s all the way down, hit a stop loss for me at the 65s. If I had entered a long here with a 10-point stop, I think we're continuing way lower. We're going to go, all the way down to the 850s. So I could potentially see a long play setting up something like this. Where, again, even if we're going to continue lower, right, even if we're going to pull this, I can get involved here and maybe catch a bounce play off of this, manage stops aggressively the way that you've seen me do it. Taking the same play day after day here. So let's see what happens if we come down to the 75s. We have liquidity down below now at the 85s, the 80s, and the 75s. Not a ton past that, which makes me gives me a little bit more confidence to take a trade off of them. But we could really form, just to talk about the other side, we could really form a down day, right? We kind of sold off yesterday, chopped. We're opening up to the downside. We just kind of cracked up here past the 900s. Now we're pushing towards prior day low. We're getting ready to continue pushing this daily candle lower. We start to do that, we could really drop. We could really drop. To me, this looks like a potentially choppy day, kind of the same back and forth garbage that we've had for NYSE sessions. So I'm happy to look long on this as we come lower, but it's going to have to be below overnight low for me to the downside. Here we go. Let's see if those 90s pay, right? Initial thought, right, as we were talking about it, looking at it, was watching these 90s fill. Again, on another day where I don't have this structure over here, this low right here and then this low right here, I'd be looking long off the 90s, and we'll see if that'll pay today, right? Here's exactly what that trade would look like. Is it the 90s? Yeah, here's exactly what that trade would look like. Boom. And how far do we make it already? Yeah, we'd be getting ready to go stop loss to break even coming up here, but not today. Not today. Let's see what we get. What's up, guys? Good morning. Thank you for the top 1 futures code. Absolutely. Hello, mate. What's going on? Guys, I'm going to show you this while we're talking about top 1 futures. If you don't know, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated. I can't stand to be unbiased if I stand to make money. I repeat that a lot for you guys that are on here because I think it's important for everybody to know before I start talking about it. And if we all just said that, life would be a lot easier, right? Boom. Here's what we're looking at. Link is in the chat. 55% off. This ends, I think, today or tomorrow. This is about to end. 55% off plus anytime payouts. This puts the 50K instant funded account at $269.10. If you look at the rule set on the 50K instant funded account, it's the best, again, in my humble biased opinion, opportunity on the market. Do your own research, compare it side by side to everybody else. Take a look. Pretty heavy. Take a look at this. Code RDF, check it out for yourself. Again, do your own research, guys. Look at the rules yourself. Make sure it's something that fits with you, your approach. There's a 20% consistency rule that you have to pay attention to, similar to other instant funded accounts. But this one is ending tomorrow. More than happy to bring this to you guys. Shout out Top 1 Futures. Again, partnered, affiliated, but I'm super bullish on them. Even with the rule change. Let's go back to this tab here. Boom. Watching this market, watching the 890s here. Yeah, this is interesting. Looks like we might get the reaction off these 890s. We cracked through it pretty aggressively, started to turn. Didn't even tap prior day low or overnight low. If it ends up being just a choppy session, be hanging out, waiting for the trade setup to come, man. Not forcing anything. Would have liked that to continue lower before we got that initial reaction, but we didn't. We bounced right above yesterday's low, traded down to the 885s even. Let's see where we go from here. Let's see where we go from here. Oh, excuse me. Is this all we're going to do before we crack to the upside? I'm interested here. I'm getting interested, guys. Yeah, looks like the reaction off the 90s, man, at least for now. Yeah, gonna have to wait for this one to continue to open up. We are coming into orange folder news, guys. We have some medium impact financial news coming up right now. I'd be cautious if you are trading. I would be a little bit cautious. Again, not usually a huge reaction out of something that's, medium impact like this, but we do have that coming up right now, so would be cautious. Anytime payout, not working on the checkout page. So, no, if I said anytime payout, I definitely misspoke. No DLL, because they've gone back and forth on that one. So 55% off, no DLL is this deal, as is on the thing that I was just showing. If you want to add on anytime payouts, you can add them on. Mate view on gold. Not sure what that means, brother. Just got my first eval. I was planning on trading 1 micro, but I'm anxious AF. I might just watch today. Yeah, I would hang tight. If you're anxious, if you're feeling anxious, it probably comes from a number of areas, right? Maybe it's a lack of confidence in your system and your approach. Just not feeling right in these market conditions. Could come from another, a bunch of different things. But I would just sit tight. I would trade demo, trade practice account, and then get ready to come back to it when you're ready. That's probably the answer. So a little bit of a reaction out of that. 10 a.m. Again, medium impact news. 10 a.m. is usually a decent candle anyway. Let's see. We're going to crack to the upside. Again, was looking long off the 90s, but not in this level of structure, not with this to the side. It's just not a valid setup. It would be way too heavily dependent on order flow and not enough on this move over here. But that would be the play. There it is, setting up off the 90s. If I entered right there, maybe you take 5 points of heat, and it trades back to VWAP to give you that nice 1-to-1. Sitting patient now. This could start to push to the upside. Again, I'm considering this. If sellers really can't start to take this thing lower, we keep building here, pressure to the upside. This looks like it wants to start to go, and that might be all we do. We might not come and sweep overnight low, prior day low. We may start to push from here. So this could be dicey, man, because I really don't have a nice play to the upside on this structure. Yeah, we got some buyers here. Let's see what they want to do. For a reversion style trade, I'll be looking off the 20s, potentially the 920s. We got 120 on the book up there. If we're going to crack that, I think we're headed straight to 940, where we have a lot on the book up here. So really the same play, just opposite. We start to push to the upside. I'm going to look for a reversion play, a pullback, back down towards VWAP. Nothing right here off of VWAP. Not my MO to trade through or right off of it these days. Just way too choppy around VWAP. So let's see what happens up here. Do we reject? Do we come and sweep this high or kind of test the 12s again and come back down? Choppy, right? Somewhat choppy overall so far. So let's see what we get out of this market. Sit patient as we have to, man. Not taking 1,000 dumbass scalp trades with no direction and or edge. We're not going to do that. I'll let my nerves calm down. Yeah, sheesh, what a trade. RDF cooking. Yo. I think it's because it's the first time with money on the line. Yeah. That'll happen. That'll happen. How long have you been trading for on demo, Luke? Out of curiosity. You're making that transition to real risk on the line, man. It's tough. I'll tell you, I always try to be like not so pessimistic or like negative about it, but I try to keep it real and just set the expectations. It's difficult. It's difficult, man. When you make that first jump from demo to live, you have to face all the other demons that come in, all the real difficult side of trading, which is the psychology of managing risk. It's interesting and it's going to be tough. Everybody struggles with it, but do what you can to get as confident as you possibly can on demo first for a long period of time, show a lot of consistency, track your results. And then when you bring it over to, real money on the line, right? Maybe in a prop account or whatever it is, an eval, like you said, keep it as low as possible because unfortunately you're probably going to lose there for a long period of time, like most traders do. So you don't have to pay a lot of tuition when you're doing that and gaining that experience. And trade small, trade stupidly small, 1 micro, like you said. Keep the risk as low as possible, helps with psychology until you have consistency and then you scale from there, right? Here we go through VWAP. This looks strong, man. This looks strong. Interesting. May I have a DM? Here, guys, I'm going to throw, if you don't know, I run the 100% free trading Discord. I'm in there active almost all day, every day. Here it is. If you want to hop in, feel free, jump in there, ask me questions. I'll talk to you after the live. Happy to talk about Project X, entries and exits, answer questions on top 1 futures, all that fun stuff, man. 100% free Discord. Love your Discord. Absolutely. Happy to have you guys in there. If you don't know, again, not a VIP feeder program. Of course, I plug the companies, the partners that I'm affiliated with, but I don't have a course to sell you or some VIP section. I'm here live all day, every day, raw, showing you wins, losses, break evens, my strategy, my approach, all the tools that I use, the risk management. Everything for free. I do the same thing in Discord. Happy to have you in there. So I'm live right now. So if you jump in and start asking questions, sometimes I post that and they're like, everybody asks questions. I'll get to you into this afternoon, right? We'll talk about it. But yeah, happy to talk about entering and exiting on Project X if that's what you're asking. Yeah, man, this feels strong. Just watching the volume behind that movement right there to the upside at 10, and now we're getting some continuation. Again, still choppy overall, but this is feeling kind of strong here, man. Sellers really couldn't take it lower. We turned on a dime off those 90s. Just not the right structure, man. Tough one to watch because here we are trading almost 20 points. This is an easy full day of profit on 3 accounts. I gotta stick to my guns and look at structure and levels as well, not just order flow, but that was looking pretty tasty off the 90s. And there's the benefit of using order flow, having ideas like that. But now I'm staying patient. I could see an aggressive sell on a push up through the 20s where we have almost 200 lots on the book up here. I don't like it as much, honestly. We pull back off the open. We start to crack to the upside. That's going to look pretty strong. But that would be a valid entry. That's a trade that I got to take a win or a loss on up here, an initial short off of this level. I got nothing from the middle of this. I don't think this is a good opportunity at all for either direction. I think you're Your stop loss would be somewhere way wide or up here, which wouldn't be a good spot to have it on a short. On a long, you get below low of day, yesterday's, low. Maybe you run it to the upside. You say, I think we're coming up to the 40s. I'm going to run this with a 40-point stop loss, and this is going to be a big bullish day. Kind of the only way that I would see that. But a stop loss right here, don't love that. Don't love that at all. So that's me framing some trade ideas, sitting patient right now. Let us see. Let us see. I think the only thing I could really consider from down here would be if we pulled one of these moves. We kind of came down somewhere back into this area of high volume below VWAP, and then we started to pop. I could look for a continuation trade on something like that where I'm taking out if it's just going to be really choppy. But I wouldn't mind something like that. A retest of VWAP, sweep below these lows, and then some buying pressure. Taking it long just on this push to the upside right here, not super clean for me. But this is looking pretty bullish, man. This is looking pretty bullish. Let's see. Can we grab a pullback here, maybe? I like this long. I like to find a way in, but I don't have a setup here. Let's see. See what the market's got for us today, boys and girls. Yeah, I'm looking potentially long on a retest below the 900s, and I'm looking potentially short on a tap up near the 20s, a crack above the 920s, maybe the overnight high. So we got opportunity here. I wish I could find a way into this, but I can't. I don't have an entry. But this is one of those situations where your gut starts screaming at you, your intuition's really, really talking to you, and that discretion comes into play where I'd be quicker to get long here, more aggressively long, but I need a setup. I need a way to structure risk. You can't just hit the buy or sell button and chase price. That ends poorly. You'll get lucky sometimes, that discretion will be right. But what'll happen is oftentimes you'll get stopped and then it will do what you wanted it to do, right? If you don't wait. So I'm going to have to forgo a potential push to the upside, waiting for a pullback, which we might get here, maybe. Back around the 900s for a long. So let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get. Yes, this looks strong. It looks like it wants to go. Again, it's one of those times where you get like I say, in the intuition, the reading of the market feels really, really clear, but you can't always just rely on that and be way too discretionary. You got to wait for a clear way to structure risk. And for me up here, I wouldn't be super happy if I jumped in right here, got stopped right where I'm waiting for the pullback to occur. On the hunt to these 20s. But that looks really strong. Like we don't really want to pull back. Came through VWAP, tested it. This looks like we want to continue. Just watching cumulative volume delta grow. A lot of volume behind these moves to the upside. This looks good. I'd have to be waiting for a better way to have a clear risk structure that says if we continue through whatever level of my validation, I think we're continuing lower. I think I'm dead wrong. And if we pull back here where I'd be getting stopped out on a trade like that, I don't think I'm wrong. I think we can continue to the upside. So, yeah, one of those mornings so far. Didn't get it off the 90s. Watched that play out beautifully. I got a feeling I'm going to watch this play out and not give me an entry. And it's going to be sitting patient and watching, calling the market and having a really good read, but just not having entries to get in and stuff that I'd be comfortable taking losses on, which can get a little frustrating. It can get a little tiring to just watch it go over and continue to play out. But the alternative there is more frustrating and losing money, where it's you start to enter where you shouldn't, but you think the market's going to do something. You don't have a good way to structure risk. And yeah, here we go. And you start getting stopped. You start taking multiple stops. Here it is, boys. Yeah, really good read today, man. Really good read. Order flow is really clear. Risk structure is just not there. Just not there. There's buyers stepping in. Nice pop to the upside. Now let's go see if we check the 20s. But this would have paid. This would have already paid. Both of these would have paid. So, it's a tough thing to do, to get yourself to a point like you see me doing right now where you're not just chasing price. But it sure as hell can be frustrating to watch. If I don't have a way to structure risk, and I know I'm not going to be happy if I take an L if the price comes down to the point of my invalidation and then continues, I can't put a trade on. That's the deal. Interesting market this morning. Yeah, watching this move to the upside. Again, just kind of taking a look at order flow on the right-hand side. I know I'm getting a little quiet there. Trying to frame a second setup, another setup here. Again, good read off the 90s. Structure not there. That's going to allow me to take a trade. Watch this start to push through Bookmap and, gun to my head, I'm long here, but just not a good way to structure risk. Let's see if we get the 20s, because that would be a target. If we reverse here and come all the way back down, that's really not a great trade. Would be paying off the middle of this consolidation for sure. 8 points to the upside. Again, this just sometimes how it goes. Risk structure based on the tools that I use is just not there. So that's part of my criteria for entry, and I think should be everybody's, if not the starting point, right? Where is your stop loss going to go? Is the trade invalidated at that point? If the answer is no, you can widen up the stop and put it at a spot where it is invalidated, or you can say, no, I'm not going to take that trade. So, again, I'm looking short on this potentially if we come up near that overnight high level. Even if we're going to continue higher, I don't think we just blast through to the 40s, although we could. We reverse from here and come back down to VWAP and chop around. It's looking like just a garbage New York session where we are chopping. It's rangy, but not hitting any key levels that I need hit. So let's see what we get out of this. Again, still on the book at the 59.20s, 200 lots, 194 lots right now. Would be surprised if we didn't get some reaction around that level. Overnight high, I think above that would definitely have some orders resting as well. Potentially pop some stops up there on people that were getting short for a larger move to the downside today. But let's see. Buyers are still here, man. Buy orders still getting filled. This is interesting. This is interesting. Very interesting. Blessings for Puerto Rico. I appreciate that. What's going on, Adrian? Tokyo, great presentation. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, hanging out, watching the markets. More than happy to have you guys here. Feel free. Hit like, hit subscribe if you want to hang out with me almost every damn day, trading live. I also been putting out a ton of videos, long form videos. You can check it out. A bunch of shorts as well, but did a Bookmap video. Do comparisons on prop firms, strategy, trade management, volume profiles. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm continuing to put those out. Doing like about 2 a week. 2 nice long form edited videos a week. And then I'm here with you guys every damn day. Catch me on socials as well. Active on IG, yapping on there all day, and a little bit on Twitter. But Twitter is kind of like a cesspool of hate, so I limit how much time I spend on that app. So let's see, man. Do we push to the upside? Trade the 915s, 914s here. Again, I'm interested around this 920 level. We have 100, almost 200 on the book up here on Bookmap. Again, my favorite order flow tool. You can see that on whatever traditional depth of market you're using. You guys should be able to see that as well. It's near this overnight high level, so it could be a little bit dicey to get involved below this. But that's the first area to be hit for a short back towards VWAP. We might do it from up here, and in which case it won't be as frustrating to say, hey, this long really didn't pan out all the way to the 20s. We came back down on it. But if we come off of this area before, back down to this temporary volume point of control, the 5900s, I really don't have a setup. It's just going to be choppy garbage, and it's just not gonna give me anything to trade off of, you know. Again, how we get to a level makes a difference, right? Let's say, you know, I want to trade off the 40s, right? If we do this up to the 40s, I'm much less, I believe less that we're just going to do this, right? Conversely, if we had a nice impulsive move, we don't go back in time, but if we had like a really nice impulsive move up to the 40s, something like that very quickly, I could absolutely see a rejection, right? Why? We don't have buyers showing so much strength, overpowering sellers all the way up there for a long period of time. More likely to see an impulsive move off of that level if we get an impulsive move up towards that level, right? If we just form really, really clean, bullish price action all the way up through it, you know, I think less of a clean indication that we are potentially going to bounce from there. And that's just a reading of price action, market structure, volume, order flow, right? Kind of all coming together to say this is not as clean for a bounce. Again, guys, getting ready to look short. Very similar to what I was looking for off of these lows. I got to be honest, I don't like it as much. But it is a valid setup. It's definitely something that I would like to take and have to take if we come up near this. I'm not going to dive right in at the 20s. Overnight high is right here. I think we could get a little bit wicky up here. We can see some fast movement. So I would wait just to see if we crack above these 920s, maybe pull up to overnight high to pop some stops and then potentially continue back down. Wouldn't mind that for a stop loss way out here, because if we continue way out here, I think we're coming up to the 40s, right? I think we're coming way up to the 40s, you know, and I'm dead wrong. Ooh, we got 945 on the book as well. Hold on. We got a nice heavy stack at 945. Yeah, we may be coming to the upside, guys and girls. We have the 459 on the book right here at 940, and now we have 221 at 945. That's pretty heavy now to the upside. Down below price, these 850s, we still do have some orders on the book. That's way out of line now. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try it off the 20s, but we could really push right through. Um, I'm gonna try it off the 20s off up here first. I could see potentially a pullback down and a retest of VWAP. If we pull back down and retest first, then this is invalidated. But let's see if we come up here, check this out, maybe get a reaction, pull back down towards an area of high volume, clean everybody out that's taking breakout trades, and then potentially continue higher. But this is an interesting level. This is a really interesting area. Pulling back off first. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get here. Good morning. Good morning. What's happening? How many likes do we need to get a giveaway? Not sure. Not sure. When I get ready to drop a form, and if you guys don't know, let me put that banner up. I haven't been changing any banners this morning. If you guys don't know, I give away 50K instant funded accounts every week on these live streams. Gave one away yesterday. These are not challenge accounts. They're not something you have to pay money for. No activation fee. You're funded right away. 50K funded account. Give those away every week on the stream. Random days, random times. I drop a form. You guys fill it out. You got a chance to win. I pick someone randomly on the stream. Right before I do it, I ask you guys for a ton of likes. If you guys want to get closer to it, you can start smashing the like button right now. But again, it's random days, random times. I let you know how many likes right before we drop it based on how many people are here. We need to get the giveaway rolling. So that's the deal. But I don't want to have to repeat myself too many times on that, but I'm happy to do it. And if I end up having just way too many people that are constantly here yelling, do the giveaway, do the giveaway, do the giveaway, I'll just, I'll start blocking people, from doing it. But you can always ask questions, right? If I just get the same 147 times, like some streams that do a lot of giveaways, like I do, end up just turning into just straight up giveaway chats where everybody begs for giveaways or begs for things. And we don't want to do that here, right? You guys are awesome. Everybody's played nice. I'm so proud of the chat. You guys are so good. Nobody filled the form out more than once, like so good. And if you did and you used a different email, you're going to be screwed when you go to activate the account because it comes straight from Top One. It's not a code or a link. But proud of you guys. Proud of you guys. Everybody playing nice. It's usually someone that ruins it, but not yet. So great job. 915s, man. Watching this for an aggressive short again, guys. I'm looking aggressively short. It's a risky play. We continue to push. We could really quickly rip to the upside and keep moving today. We could flip this bad boy bullish, and it could get ugly for me looking short. Again, I liked it short out of this area. We did continue the upside. Not crazy through the 20s, but I am watching this. I'm watching this for a potential short off the 20s. Area of liquidity up here. Area of liquidity, not of a liquidity. Area of liquidity here. Near this overnight high, I could see a potential reaction, right? Do I think it's going to sell off to the moon after that? No. Do I think maybe we bounce 10 points, 15 points, 20 points back down towards VWAP? Sure. I think we could pull that move and then continue right back up to the upside. So let's see what we get up here. Waiting patiently, waiting for my levels to be hit, waiting for structure to give me the setup that I need to get in. We don't get it, even here on the 1-minute chart where I'm trading aggressively with multiple, full mini contracts. I got to do what I got to do. I sit on my hands, as they say. So here we go. Here's a crack to the upside. Let's see. Let's see if we can try it now. Let's see what happens around these 20s. Let's see. We are definitely not there in likes now. No. Yesterday it was like we got likes. The call out was 75 likes. Yesterday we had like 80 likes on the stream, man. You guys are sleeping today. I get it. It's Friday. Everybody's taking off early. You're doing your thing. Love your content, man. Keep the great work. What real trading looks like. Not selling dreams. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Happy to show you what it looks like. I mean, this is what I wanted out of other guys when I was coming up trading, and I still do, right? Live trading every damn day, or almost every day, or at least just consistently showing what wins, losses look like, right? Trading's tough, and everybody wants to sell a dream. Everybody wants to say, look at this straight green, P&Ls, or look at all this money that I made. And you can too if you just buy my indicator or something. It's not like that. It's not like that. And I post videos and say, even trading's really hard, like really hard. And it stays really hard. It gets easier, right? Easier. You get better, but the game, stays the same, right? Like I run, and a lot of guys and girls will say, running doesn't get any easier. You just get better. Like it stays really hard. And as you progress to get faster and set PRs, the same way you have to scale in trading, it stays really hard. You just get better. But starting out, man, which is such a big market, right? There's so many beginners that want to break in and start trading. You're going to lose for a long time, man. I don't know anybody that, and I don't like to be discouraging, but I'm just real. I don't know anybody that makes it in a year or two. I just don't. I don't know anybody that gets consistent and pulls money out of the market consistently in the first 12 to 24 months, And why would you? Why would that make sense? What career would you start from scratch with no background in, and in the first 12 months, you're the highest paid employee, or you're competing with the highest paid employees in that industry? You're not. It doesn't make sense. It's like everything else. It takes a long time to get good at, a long, long time. And, you have to put the work in. So, I think that can be helpful to hear, right? Unfortunately, if you're here now and you think this is a get-rich-quick scheme or something that you could just do with some half-ass effort and make tens of thousands of dollars, it's an unrealistic expectation, and it's only going to hurt you in the long run. So don't waste your time, don't waste your money. I don't know of anything like that out there. If you find something, feel free to hit me up, and I'll take a look at it. But, trading's hard. Can it be extremely rewarding, and you can be your own boss and you can make money, and there's this endless amount of opportunity to make money, tons of money in seconds, more so that you can in any other career? Absolutely. Sure. We all know that, though, right? We all know that. But how do you get there? At least in what I've seen in my journey, in my path, like anything else, man. Hard work, long, long time, of grinding and gaining experience and intuition and learning. Making mistakes and learning, trial by fire. So, that's my 2 cents. That's my humble, opinion. You could say, no, Zach, that's not the way it is. I hear it's different from other people and other people do things differently. For sure. Totally respect it. Just going to give you my opinion. This stuff is difficult. This stuff is really difficult. Watching this slowly drift to the upside. Slowly drift to the upside here. Still eyeballing the 20s. Consolidating up here. Looks like we might try to break. Not sure. Liked. We talked about the giveaway. Potentially. Random days, random times. You have to come back to the screen every day. 100%. 1 to 2 years on the lower end of the curve. Oh, yeah. For sure. I was saying that on the low end of the curve. I don't know anybody at that stage, right? I don't know anybody at that stage that's made it to consistent, where they, I don't like to use the word profitability because I think it's a overused, like fantasized thing. Like you flip a page one day. I say that all the time. All of a sudden I wake up after 2 years and I'm profitable and I make money every day and, it's all good and I never make mistakes and, all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's a long journey. For most, it's going to take longer than that, for sure. I see a lot of guys that say, 3 to 5 years to just start breaking even, and that's what it looks like for most, and for me included, right? Into the 2 to 3 year mark before even just starting to grasp onto some consistency without just consistently losing money. So different for everybody, though. Let's see. Yesterday's stream was educational. Shows you can make money. I went long, and the guest on the stream went short. Both made money on the same pair. That was insane for me. Yeah. No, for sure. And that was a great thing that we were talking about yesterday, right? I had Randy on the stream yesterday, if you guys don't know, and we're both trading ES, right? He was looking short. He held a short play. I got long while he was still short. I trade my approach. I trade my system, regardless of who's on and what they're doing, and so does the other person. And we both came out green. He ended up holding and starting to close out as it continued lower. I was able to trail profit and put like almost $1,500. I think it was like 13 something across 3 accounts on the stream. Both came out green. And we had that demonstrated to us in Tampa, which was an in-person event I did with a bunch of traders. Everybody was getting long, but it was for different reasons. And everybody got long multiple different times and managed the trades very differently. And everybody came out green, like majority. So, what it displays is, in real time, there is more than one way to do this. There's no one right way to do this. What you're looking at and what I'm looking at are the same as far as where price is, but your reasons for entry, your confidence, the tools that you're using, the time frame that you're viewing it on, the way that you're going to manage that trade, it can be vastly different, and we can all make money, right? We can all make money doing vastly different things. So it's important. And a lot of times, beginners especially, get caught up in this stupid narrative. There's obviously a couple cult groups out there that it's one way and this is the only way to trade, which is absolutely ridiculous. Find what works for you. Find what speaks to you. Find things that make somewhat logical sense in general, I think, right? But even that is kind of out for debate, right? Because what makes logical sense for me is maybe not to you. And then build off that. Build off that. Let's see. Watching this market, man, what are we doing here? Consolidating up near these highs, creating a kind of a high volume node here on the low time frames around this area consolidation. Didn't quite trade out the 20s, man. We got liquidity sitting there. We traded 19 and 3/4. Didn't come and fill the liquidity on the book. We traded right to it, right here, and then started to pull back. This might just be one of those Friday sessions, man. Here we go, pulling back to the 15s. God, man. Yeah, not my level hit. Sitting here patiently, waiting. We pull back to VWAP. Up here, I'm probably just going to call it. I'll probably call it a session because I won't have anything. But let's see. Let's see if we can trade one more crack through this overnight high level. Maybe look short. I wouldn't mind one more wick up here for a pullback down. I don't know. This is not very pretty. New York session has been very difficult to work with, in my humble opinion. Just like we talked about, right? Some people might say this market's great. And I think it's silly to make like overstated comments where I see people say, if anyone says they're making a killing in this market, they're lying. Or this is the hardest market for everyone. You don't know what anybody else does. You don't know how they trade. You don't know what tools they use. So you can't say shit about what anybody else does. But for me personally, and from what I've seen from a lot of traders, in general, my subjective opinion for me is this has been very hard, very difficult to deal with. Very irregular, which is not a good term either, because what is regular is very discretionary. This has been a very difficult to deal with past, let's say, few months, even few weeks of New York session. Very, very difficult. Again, for me, somebody else might say, and they would be correct, this is the best it's ever been for me. I'm crushing it because this is a zero-sum game. And when I make money, somebody else loses money, right? That's how it goes. Theoretically, right? Because this is a sim environment and nobody makes money. Unless I make it to a payout or I lose and the prop firm gets my my fee. But yeah, that's kind of the feel. This market's been tough, man. Very choppy New York sessions, consolidating, garbage movement, wiki barcoding, like we start to form direction and then we come right back down. Very difficult, But again, that's my opinion. And you might say, "No, Zach, this is perfect. The way that I trade, I can't lose." And I'd say, dude, I believe it, right? And then when the market is good for me, quote unquote, whatever that means, right? A little bit more regular, it might be terrible for you, right? You might lose money. That would make sense, right? You don't make money in all market conditions. Okay, so we traded one tick away from the level that I've been talking about all morning. We didn't fill liquidity there. We've pulled back off now like 6 points. Do we sell off back to VWAP and I just close my computer for now and come back and I say good game market? Or, I like, it's one of those sessions, man. One of those sessions. Market amuses me. The market amuses me. can do whatever it wants to do at all times. And when you get to comfortable with that, when you kind of like accept that as a true reality, it becomes kind of amusing sometimes rather than so frustrating where you feel like it's against you or you want to punish it or whatever it is. But this could be one of those amusing days. Let's see. Let's see. What's up? What's going on, guys? Ryan, what's going on? Got a bunch of people hopping in, watching this market move. Just me today, no guest. We got more guests coming up next week. We'll have more special guests, more traders. We've had Randy Baines yesterday. We had Luna Trades, who was here this morning in the chat. Shout out to these guys. We had Tanner, the strong trader. Okay, here we go. Now we're filling the 20s. Sorry, Ryan. I'm going to come back to that. We're filling the 20s here. I'm watching to see if we get a little bit farther of a crack up or if we start to reject here. But we finally filled liquidity at the 20s. Like I talked about, we got overnight high level. I think we could pop some stops right above that. But this is what I've been watching for a potential short setup. Watching the reaction here. Bookmap is lagging for me now. Great. Don't do that to me. Okay, we're back up. Let's see. I got a feeling we can crack this overnight high level. But if we start to just pause here for much longer, I'm going to look short on this bad boy. Stop past that level. Back down towards VWAP. Maybe just back down towards a sweep below this area of consolidation. Let's see what we get up here. A lot of hesitation. Growing cumulative volume delta. I'm waiting on this one, guys. Yeah, I'm making the conscious decision to wait. I'm waiting for a crack of overnight high. Might not get it. We might just hit the 20s in reverse here. I'm waiting for a crack of these 25s. We got another 100 on the book up here. We got buyers sitting here, not rejecting at all just yet. We can absolutely turn to the downside, in which case I would miss a trade off of this. But looking at this overnight high level right here, and now 188 on the book up at the 25s, I think we could crack that really quickly. And I don't want to be short below that. So I gotta wait again. This is gonna kill me today, man. This structure is gonna kill me today. Not kill me. I'm gonna end up with nothing. I'm gonna wait. I have to wait for the 25s to be cracked here. Way too much on the book and overnight high being right there. We reject off these 20s. It's going to look really good for that level filling and then coming back down. But right now, I'm making the conscious decision to wait. This is a nice trade. Below this level, still, it gets you with a stop loss above this. Yeah, here we go, man. Yeah. Going to be one of those days, guys. Going to be one of those days. I can feel it already. Let's see. Let's see what we get. The rejection happens before the overnight high level. It's going to be no setup. Yeah, Bookmap is going to have played really nicely on this, but we're just too damn close, man. Same with down here. Same with down here off the 90s. This was the area that I was looking at and waiting for these levels of structure to be tested. Not happening today. Got my level hit. I got a good feeling this is going to play from here based on that selling pressure. But again, made the conscious decision. Gave me plenty of time up here. Made the conscious decision to take this off of the 25s. as we started to push higher and more levels of liquidity pushed to the came on the book to the upside, not wanting to have a stop, right above this level. Let's see how it plays. See how it plays. Got someone talking about initial balance. We can mark that out today. Where's our 10:30 time frame? That would be IB high. Let's mark these out with a different color. IB high, IB low. The first 1 hour of the trading day from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Often interesting levels to look at. We break above the IB high. We're likely to continue and push to the upside based on what side is set first and last. You could have a good idea of what side's going to break first based on statistics, historical information. But we're not wanting to continue above that right now. I got a good feeling I'm going to watch 2 trades, really 3, right? Because I was saying long here. Yeah, man. Just not as aggressive as I could be today. Waiting for structure. None of these are really missed trades. Discretion on another day. I'm entering aggressively there. But reading order flow and Bookmap and the structural levels, right? The candlestick, standard market structure levels. Not really coinciding for me. Not lining up the way that I need to get in. Simple as that. At least not yet. At least not yet. But while we're hanging out, still no trade on the session. Seeing what we can do, man. Had some solid live sessions with you guys. While we're hanging out, waiting. If you're looking at the chart in front of me, you want to know what that is. It's Top 1 Futures. Code RDF gets you the best deal, 55% off and no daily loss limit. This is Project X, instant funded on Project X. That's what we're working with right here. As I watch this one potentially play out to the downside and laugh along with it. That's all we can do. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out, link is in the chat. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. Can't stand to be unbiased if I stand to make money. Important for me to let you know that. That would be my profit target with almost zero heat on this trade. Let's see if we get it. Really would be like 10 point. Yeah, 15 back to VWAP. Let's see. See what the market's got for me besides just frustration today. Yep. There it is playing off the 920s. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm a Top 1 Futures and Top 1 Trader are the same company. Yeah. No, they're not, but Top 1 Trader started Top 1 Futures, right? So it's coming from the same team, same management team, all that good stuff. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to call it here. I don't have another setup. I've now watched 3 that I've really called and had good intuition and feeling on. That last one is a little bit tough to watch play out so quickly with no heat. Made the conscious decision to wait on that one, and that was not a great one. The last 2 were really clear, no levels of structure to trade off of. This is absolutely a no-go for me. This one with prior day low here as we're starting to sell off and overnight low down here, that's a no-go. Both of these would have played out beautifully. The 90s would have paid to the upside right here. The 10s, right, this area consolidation before we started to pop would have paid all the way up to the 20s. Now the 20s would have paid short. Execution is just not there for me today. Structure is not there, so I'm not going to sit and watch this any longer. Appreciate you guys hopping on. It's going to be a no-trade session for me. I don't have a setup coming at all off of this. No long off of VWAP, no continuation to the downside, no additional short if it comes back up. So I'm going to set some alerts. I'm not going to be done trading for the day. I'm going to trade. You're going to see a green or red P&L out of me, most likely. But it's going to be after this continues to move, right? We're either going to continue back down, form some more structure, continue back up to the upside, form some more structure. There's just nothing there for me right now, forming over the next 20 to 30 minutes. Just don't see it. So on that note, guys, I appreciate you being here. We've had a solid week. Last couple days of green. Next week, we got account giveaways, 50K account giveaways, live. Subscribe so you can hop on these sessions and chat with me. We got guests coming on stream. Excited to have more traders coming on to chat with me. Let it rise. Still expecting to be bullish. Reach some highs. Yeah, send it, man. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures and code RDF. I appreciate you guys being on here. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time off the charts. Enjoy your time on the charts. If you're going to backtest, do whatever you're going to do. I'll see you next week for a full week of live trading. Have a great weekend. Be easy. Thank you, guys. Trade well. Trade well.